Have you ever wondered what would happen if you just stopped giving her attention? Would she pull away, or would something entirely unexpected occur? Most people assume ignoring a woman is risky, even counterproductive. After all, don't women crave attention? But here is a twist. When done with purpose, stepping back can completely change the dynamics of your relationship with her. Let me tell you a story to illustrate this. Imagine Jake, a guy who was constantly texting, calling, and making plans with Sarah, the woman he was seeing. At first, Sarah seemed into it. She replied quickly, smiled brightly during their meetups, and even made time for him on busy days. But as weeks passed, her enthusiasm waned. Replies became delayed, excuses more frequent, and Jake started to feel like he was chasing her. Frustrated, Jake confided in a friend who gave him unconventional advice. Back off. Stop chasing. See what happens when you focus on yourself instead. Reluctantly, Jake took the advice. What happened next shocked him. The psychology behind ignoring. When Jake stopped chasing, Sarah noticed. It wasn't instant, but over a few days, her curiosity kicked in. Why wasn't Jake texting her as much? Why wasn't he asking her out anymore? At first, she brushed it off, assuming he was busy. But as time went on, her thoughts spiraled. Had she done something wrong? Was he losing interest? Jake's decision to step back wasn't about playing games. It was about shifting his focus onto his own life. This created a sense of mystery and intrigued two things women are naturally drawn to. Sarah had become used to Jake's consistent attention, and now its absence disrupted her expectations. 1. She becomes obsessed with the why. When a woman feels ignored, her first instinct is often to analyze why it's happening. She might start questioning herself. Was it something I said? Did I do something wrong? Did I push him away? This isn't about vanity. It's simply human nature. People are wired to detest uncertainty, and when you take a step back, you create exactly that a gap she feels compelled to fill. Take Sarah, for example. She didn't immediately confront Jake when he pulled away. Instead, her curiosity took over. She began checking his social media, subtly keeping tabs on him. She asked mutual friends about him, and even found herself accidentally running into him at places she knew he frequented. Jake didn't have to say a word. His absence alone had sparked her curiosity and pulled her attention back to him. This behavior illustrates a powerful dynamic in relationships. When someone feels a void, they instinctively want to understand it, and often seek to bridge the gap. While it's important not to play manipulative games, understanding this psychological tendency can help you approach relationships with more awareness and intention. If you find yourself on either side of this situation, take it as an opportunity to reflect on your connection. Is the distance intentional or a sign of unspoken issues? Open, honest communication is always the best way to navigate uncertainty and rebuild trust. 2. She tests you to regain control. When Sarah finally decided to text Jake, it wasn't a heartfelt confession or a direct admission that she missed him. Instead, it was a casual, "Hey, haven't heard from you, everything okay?" A subtle test. Sarah wanted to gauge Jake's reaction, to see if he would jump at the opportunity, to respond and reveal that he was still invested. But Jake didn't take the bait. Instead of over-explaining or rushing to reassure her, he kept his response calm and composed. "All good, just being busy. Hope you are doing well." His reply was short, confident, and completely in control. This wasn't about playing games or manipulating emotions. It was about self-respect. By maintaining his composure, Jake sent a clear message. He valued his own time and wasn't desperate for Sarah's attention. Ironically, that sense of independence only made Sarah more intrigued. His cool demeanor stirred her curiosity and reignited her desire to reconnect. This dynamic highlights an important principle in relationships. People are drawn to confidence and self-assuredness. Showing that you are secure in yourself, whether or not someone else is fully present, can shift the power balance in a positive way. Instead of chasing, you create space for mutual respect and genuine connection. 3. She competes for your attention. What Jake didn't see coming was how Sarah started stepping up her game. Suddenly, She seemed to put extra effort into her appearance whenever they crossed paths. Her social media became more active photos of her out with friends, enjoying life and looking her best. She even began dropping subtle hints about other guys showing interest in her. These weren't random changes. They were deliberate moves to capture Jake's attention and regain a sense of control in their dynamic. Jake, however, recognized these actions for what they were, an effort to re-establish the connection on her terms. Rather than getting swept up in her attempts or rushing to respond, he stayed steady and composed. He focused on his own goals, his own priorities, and let Sarah's behavior speak for itself. This approach didn't mean Jake was dismissive or playing games. It was about maintaining self-respect. By not immediately chasing after her signals, he demonstrated his confidence and independence. Ironically, this only made him more appealing in Sarah's eyes. The takeaway here is simple. People are drawn to those who value themselves. When someone begins to compete for your attention, it's a sign they still care. But the key is to stay grounded, let their actions unfold naturally, and focus on your own growth. This balance creates space for a healthier, more authentic reconnection. 4. She questions her own value. This is where things took an unexpected turn. Sarah, who had always been so confident, found herself questioning her place in Jake's life. Was I not good enough? Did I take him for granted? These unsettling thoughts began to surface, forcing her to reflect on what Jake's presence truly meant to her. Jake, by stepping back, had created something powerful: space. This wasn't about making Sarah feel bad or playing mind games. It was about restoring balance in their relationship. When someone's attention is constant, it's easy to overlook its value. But when that attention is pulled back, it can spark a deeper appreciation for what was once taken for granted. For Sarah, this realization was a wake-up call. The distance gave her the chance to see Jake's worth more clearly, and in turn, she began to reevaluate her own role in their dynamic. It wasn't just about missing him, it was about recognizing how much she valued him and the connection they shared. This dynamic underscores an important lesson. Sometimes stepping back isn't about creating distance, it's about fostering clarity. When both partners can recognize each other's worth, the relationship has a stronger foundation for mutual respect and genuine connection. The lesson: ignoring a woman, when done strategically and with respect, isn't about playing games or being cold. It's about valuing yourself, setting boundaries, and allowing her to see your worth. Like Jake, you can create a dynamic where you are not chasing, but instead standing tall in your confidence and letting her come to you. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.